Manhattan morning. The city pulses with its usual rhythm. Fifth Avenue chokes with gridlock traffic at 8:47 a.m. A black Mercedes S-Class inches forward through the metallic river of cars and taxis and delivery trucks. Inside the back seat, Vincent Morrison holds an iPhone pressed tight against his ear. His voice carries the cold efficiency of a man who built empires from ambition and ruthlessness. The Hong Kong merger closes Friday, or we walk. He speaks without emotion. Numbers and deals and corporations. This is his language. This is his world. Salt and pepper hair, perfectly styled. Tom Ford's suit immaculate. Wedding ring still worn after 7 years of widowhood. On his lap, an open briefcase spills documents worth $800 million. Each page represents power. Each signature represents control. Vincent Morrison, at 52 years old, has transformed grief into gold. When Eleanor died, or when he thought she died 7 years ago, he channeled his pain into building Morrison Enterprises from $2 billion to $15 billion. 18-hour days, 6-day weeks. Work became his medication. Empire became his addiction. And his son Daniel became collateral damage in his pursuit of meaning through money. Daniel sits beside his father in the back seat, 8 years old, large brown eyes that seem too old for his young face. His iPad rests untouched on his lap, screen dark and forgotten. While other children his age lose themselves in games and videos, Daniel studies the world outside the tinted windows with an intensity that worries teachers and doctors alike. They call them dissociative episodes. They suggest medication. They recommend therapy. Vincent has ignored them all. His son is fine, just different, just sensitive. But this morning, something shifts. The traffic light at 53rd Street turns red. The Mercedes crawls to a stop. Daniel's small hand suddenly presses against the bulletproof window. His breath creates fog on the glass. His fingers spread wide as if reaching for something beyond the barrier. "Dad?" His voice comes out quiet, hesitant. Vincent doesn't look up from his phone call. "Not now, Daniel. This is important." But Daniel's voice rises, urgent, trembling with an emotion Vincent hasn't heard before. "Dad, look!" Something in that tone makes Vincent pause mid-sentence with his Hong Kong partners. He follows his son's pointing finger through the tinted glass, and Vincent Morrison's carefully constructed world begins to fracture. A homeless child huddles against the limestone wall of Tiffany & Company. She wears a torn denim jacket massive on her tiny frame. Her dark hair hangs in matted tangles around a dirt-streaked face. A small backpack clutches tight to her chest. A paper cup sits before her with a few scattered coins, maybe 6 years old, maybe 7, so small, so young. Hard to believe a child this age survived alone on these streets. But her face, God, her face. Vincent's iPhone slips from his fingers. It clatters against the leather seat. The Hong Kong merger disappears into meaningless noise because he is staring at Eleanor. Not Eleanor as he last saw her 7 years ago in a closed casket he was forbidden to open. But Eleanor as a child, Eleanor from her childhood photos. Eleanor before life in marriage and motherhood. The girl's eyes are Eleanor's exact hazel green with those distinctive almond shapes. Her nose carries that same delicate upturn Eleanor always claimed made her look perpetually curious. Her chin has that defined, stubborn set that Vincent used to trace with his thumb during quiet Sunday mornings in bed. The girl looks up. Their eyes meet through the tinted glass. Something electric and impossible passes between them. Recognition flashes across her young face. Not recognition of him specifically, but recognition of something. Connection, memory, danger. Before Vincent can process what he's seeing, the girl scrambles to her feet. Her backpack swings over her shoulder. Her paper cup tumbles forgotten to the sidewalk. And she vanishes into the river of pedestrians with the practiced ease of someone who has survived by learning to disappear. "Stop the car!" Vincent's hand fumbles for the door handle. His driver Jenkins stares at him through the rearview mirror with confusion and concern. "Sir, we're in the middle of traffic. I can't just stop." "Stop the car now!" The authority in Vincent's voice makes Jenkins hit the brakes. Vincent throws open the door. His Italian Ferragamo loafers hit Fifth Avenue concrete. He pushes through the morning crowd of suits and tourists and coffee drinkers. His expensive shoes scuff against the sidewalk. His perfectly tailored suit jacket catches on someone's briefcase. Wait, please wait! But the girl is gone, swallowed by the city as if she never existed. Vincent stands with his hand pressed against the Tiffany wall where she sat moments before. The limestone holds faint warmth from her body heat. Real. She was real. Daniel appears beside him. Small fingers tug at Vincent's sleeve. I told you, Dad. The boy's voice carries absolute certainty. No doubt, no confusion. Just truth spoken with the clarity only children possess before the world teaches them to question everything. That was my sister. I know her. Vincent kneels to Daniel's level. His hands grip his son's small shoulders. He needs Daniel to understand. He needs Daniel to accept reality. Daniel, listen to me carefully. Your mother and I, we only had you. You don't have a sister. That girl just happened to look like Mom. Sometimes people look alike. It doesn't mean anything. But Daniel shakes his head. Tears pool in those two old eyes. No, Dad, I dream about her. Every single night since I was 5. She's my sister. She's little. Really little. And she's scared all the time. Why won't you believe me? And for the first time in 3 years of dismissing his son's night terrors as childhood imagination, Vincent sees something in Daniel's face that stops his denial cold. Not confusion, not fantasy, certainty, knowledge, truth. His son knows something Vincent doesn't. And that impossible child with Eleanor's face is the key to a mystery Vincent didn't know existed until this moment. The Morrison penthouse occupies the entire 42nd floor of a glass tower overlooking Central Park. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame the city like a painting. Minimalist furniture in chrome and white leather creates spaces that look like magazine spreads. Perfect, sterile, expensive, empty. This is where Vincent raised his son. Or more accurately, this is where Mrs. Chen raised Daniel while Vincent built empires and avoided grief. Mrs. Chen is 60 years old, Vietnamese American. She has worked for the Morrison family since before Daniel was born. She knows every secret of this household. She has watched Vincent transform from a man who laughed and loved into a machine that only knows how to work. And she has watched Daniel grow from a happy toddler into a boy too serious and sad for 8 years old. She meets them at the door. One look at Vincent's face tells her something has shifted. Mr. Morrison, you need to see Daniel's drawings. Finally, you're listening. She leads them to Daniel's bedroom. From a locked drawer in the boy's desk, she produces a leather-bound journal. The cover shows wear from years of handling. Inside, hundreds of pages filled with a child's artwork, drawings in crayon and marker and colored pencil, on all depicting the same subjects, the same faces, the same scenes repeated obsessively across 3 years. Vincent sits on Daniel's bed. He opens the journal. His hands begin to shake. The first drawing shows a woman with long dark hair. She stands in profile, her mouth open as if singing. Musical notes float around her head drawn in childish symbols. Below the drawing, Daniel's careful printing reads, "Mommy singing our song." Vincent turns the page. Another drawing, 2 children holding hands, a boy taller, a girl much smaller. "Me and sister," written beneath in that same careful hand. The girl drawn as a tiny figure, barely reaching the boy's shoulder. Another page. A ribbon, ivory-colored in the child's rendering. Gold thread forming letters. The words partially visible. "Shine Brie," before the text cuts off. Her ribbon from birth noted in the margin. Page after page after page. A white building with blue-tinted windows. Mountains in the background. Hospital rooms with machines. A baby crying while being carried away. A tiny girl alone in darkness, hugging her knees. All dated across 3 years. Some marked with Daniel's attempts to explain what he saw. Dream from last night. Sister is cold again. She's so little. Mommy can't wake up. The medicine makes her sleep. Vincent's throat constricts. His vision blurs. This is not normal childhood imagination. This is documentation. Evidence. Memory. Daniel. His voice comes out hoarse. When did these dreams start? Daniel sits beside his father on the bed, small and fragile and certain. When I was 5, Dad, right after the funeral, you remember, I started waking up crying. You said I missed Mom and I'd feel better soon. But the dreams never stopped. They got stronger, clearer, like I was watching movies of things that really happened. What do you see in these dreams? Daniel's eyes go distant, remembering. I see Mom in a hospital room, but it's not a normal hospital. Everything is white and cold and scary. She's trying to stay awake, but people keep giving her medicine that makes her sleepy. She fights it. She sings to stay conscious. That song you and her used to sing to me when I was a baby. Vincent's heart pounds against his ribs. What song? Daniel begins to hum, softly, tentatively, but the melody is unmistakable. Eleanor's grandmother's lullaby, the family song passed down through generations. Eleanor sang it to Daniel when he was an infant, but Daniel was barely 1 year old when Eleanor died, too young to remember. My little star, shine so bright through the darkness of the night. Love will guide you, love will stay, leading you home, finding the way. The words come out in Daniel's small voice, perfect, exact, impossible. How do you know that song? Mom taught me in my dreams. She sings it to both of us, me and my baby sister. She's singing while they take the baby away. She's singing while she ties something around the baby's wrist. She's singing even when they make her forget. Vincent can barely breathe. What else do you see? I see the baby growing up, moving between different houses. People who are mean to her. She runs away when she's really little, maybe 4 or 5. Still a baby, really. She lives on the streets, cold all the time, hungry, scared, but she never forgets the song, and she keeps the ribbon Mom gave her. It's the only thing she has. Mrs. Chen stands in the doorway, her arms crossed. Her expression says, I told you so without speaking. Mr. Morrison, I have been trying to tell you about Daniel's dreams for 3 years. Every morning he wakes up crying. He draws these pictures, trying to remember details. He talks about his little sister like she's real, because to him, she is real. He feels her, like twins feel each other across distances. But you were always too busy with meetings and mergers to listen to your son. The words hit Vincent like physical blows. She's right. He knows she's right. He chose work over family. He chose grief over healing. He chose empire over the son who needed him. I'm listening now. He turns back to Daniel. Draw the girl you saw today, right now, from memory. Daniel picks up a pencil. His small hand moves across a fresh page with confidence and speed. No hesitation, no corrections. Within minutes, a face emerges, detailed, precise. The homeless child from Fifth Avenue. Every feature captured, every expression rendered. The smallness, the fear in those eyes. And it's identical to the faces in 3 years' worth of dream drawings. Just older. The baby grown into a small child. Vincent stares at the sketch, at his son, at the impossible evidence spread across the bed. My God, he whispers. Eleanor, what happened to you? Who is this child? And how did our son know she existed? Outside the penthouse windows, across the street in a black sedan with tinted glass, a woman watches through binoculars. Dr. Patricia Whitmore is 43 years old, beautiful in the calculated way of women who use appearance as a weapon. She has worked for Harrison Morrison for 5 years. Her official role is child psychiatrist. Her actual role is so much darker. She lowers the binoculars. She dials a number on her encrypted phone. He saw the girl. Daniel recognized her. Harrison Morrison's voice comes through cold and controlled. I told you to prevent this. The girl ran before I could intervene, but Vincent suspects now he's investigating. A pause, then Harrison speaks 4 words that change everything. Activate protocol Winter. Patricia understands. The protocol means erasure, elimination, making problems disappear permanently. She opens her briefcase. Inside, syringes arranged in neat rows. Files marked with Daniel Morrison's name. Psychiatric evaluation forms already filled out. Commitment papers pre-signed by doctors who exist only on paper. She has been preparing for this possibility since the day Harrison hired her. Since the day she helped kidnap Eleanor Morrison 7 years ago, and has spent every year since making sure that crime stays buried. But now Vincent is asking questions. And questions lead to answers, and answers lead to exposure, which means the time for quiet surveillance has ended. The time for action has begun. Vincent's first call goes to James Cooper, former NYPD detective, private investigator for the past 15 years. The man Vincent trusts more than anyone except his son, the only person outside the family who was there when Eleanor died. Or didn't die. Vincent doesn't know what to believe anymore. James answers on the first ring. Vincent, I've been waiting for this call for 7 years. The words send ice through Vincent's veins. They meet 2 hours later at James's office in Queens. The building sits above a Korean grocery. The stairs creak. The door sticks. Inside, the office overflows with file boxes and cold coffee cups and the organized chaos of a man obsessed with unsolved cases. One wall is covered floor to ceiling with pushpins and string and photographs and newspaper clippings, all connected, all leading nowhere. Vincent brings Daniel's dream journal. James studies each page in silence. His jaw clenches tighter with every drawing. Finally, he closes the journal. He meets Vincent's eyes. Have you ever questioned Eleanor's death? The question hangs in the stale office air. What do you mean? Did you see her body? No, my father said it would be too traumatic. He handled all the arrangements. Closed casket funeral, quick burial. He said I needed to focus on Daniel, not on viewing remains. James nods slowly. And the death certificate? Signed by Dr. James Morrison, no relation to me. My father's choice of physician. St. Matthew's Hospital, April 15th, 2016. Yes. James opens a desk drawer. He pulls out a thick folder. The label reads EM Suspicious Circumstances, Unsolved. I never closed Eleanor's case. He spreads documents across his desk. Death certificate, hospital records, transfer papers, transport manifests, each marked with notes in James's handwriting, dates circled, names highlighted, questions written in red ink. St. Matthew's Hospital closed for renovations 3 months before Eleanor's supposed death. The facility was completely empty from January through June of 2016. Eleanor couldn't have died there because there was no staff, no patients, no equipment, nothing. Vincent's hands gripped the edge of the desk. You're saying the death certificate is fake. I'm saying someone with significant power and resources created an elaborate fiction, and that someone is your father. James pulls up more documents. Admission records from psychiatric facilities across New York State. Eleanor was admitted somewhere on March 28th. Transfer papers signed by Harrison Morrison himself, but the destination field is blank, redacted. The transport company that moved her dissolved 6 months later. Shell Corporation. Money trail goes cold immediately. He opens his laptop. Security footage from 7 years ago. Grainy, dark, but visible. A woman being helped from a black SUV at a facility's rear entrance. The timestamp reads March 28, 2016, 11:47 p.m. This is Riverside Psychiatric Center, and that woman is Eleanor. Vincent leans closer. The footage is poor quality, but the profile, the height, the way she moves even under sedation. It's Eleanor. James, zoom in on her torso. James enhances the image, and there it is, unmistakable. Eleanor is pregnant, 6 or 7 months based on the visible curve beneath her hospital gown. The room spins. Vincent grips the desk to steady himself. We hadn't told anyone yet. Eleanor wanted to wait until the second trimester was over. We were going to announce at Daniel's 4th birthday party. April 15th was supposed to be celebration day. Instead, it became her death day, except she didn't die. She was pregnant. James, if she was pregnant when she went into that facility, then you have 2 children who need finding. Vincent calculates. If Eleanor gave birth at Riverside, the baby would have arrived around May 2016. That child would be 6 or 7 years old now, the same age as the homeless child on 5th Avenue. The child with Eleanor's face. The child Daniel has been dreaming about for 3 years. My father took my wife. He took my daughter. He let me believe they were dead while they were alive. Why? Why would he do this? James's expression darkens. I think we need to talk about your father. Vincent's memories of his father have always been complicated. Harrison Morrison built empires, created dynasties, turned millions into billions, through intelligence and ruthlessness and an absolute refusal to accept defeat. Vincent grew up watching his father dominate boardrooms and crush competitors and reshape industries through pure force of will. But he also watched his father destroy his mother. Catherine Morrison died when Vincent was 12 years old. Officially, cancer. Quickly, quietly. A closed casket funeral exactly like Eleanor's. The parallels never occurred to Vincent until this moment. My mother, Vincent says slowly. Did she really die of cancer? James doesn't answer immediately. He pulls out another file, this one older, more yellowed. I've wondered about that for years, but I was just a patrol cop back then. No access to investigate, just suspicions. What kind of suspicions? Your mother tried to leave your father when you were 11. Did you know that? Vincent's world tilts. No. She filed for divorce, claimed emotional abuse, wanted custody of you. Your father responded by having her declared mentally incompetent. 3 psychiatrists testified she was delusional, paranoid, a danger to herself and others, specifically a danger to you. The judge granted your father full custody and ordered your mother committed to psychiatric care. The words land like punches. Within 6 months, she was dead. Cancer, they said. But I've seen the pattern before. Wealthy man, inconvenient wife, mysterious illness, quick death, no autopsy, closed casket. Sound familiar? Vincent can barely breathe. He killed my mother. I can't prove it, but yes, I believe he had her killed to avoid a costly divorce and custody battle. And I believe when Eleanor became similarly inconvenient, he used the same playbook. Vincent remembers now, 9 years ago, bringing Eleanor to meet Harrison for the first time. The charity gala where she organized support for homeless youth programs. Eleanor radiant in a simple dress while surrounded by women dripping in diamonds. Vincent proud, in love. Certain his father would see what he saw. Instead, Harrison's face had turned to stone. She's beneath our class. Social workers accomplish nothing but feeling superior about their own poverty. She will make you weak. Morrison men do not marry down. The engagement party Harrison refused to attend. The threats of disinheritance. The cold silence at the wedding where Harrison sat in the back row like a disapproving stranger. Eleanor tried for years to win his approval, baked his favorite foods, remembered his birthday, sent thank you notes for gifts he never gave. Nothing worked. Harrison's contempt remained absolute. Then Daniel was born, and Harrison demanded a paternity test. Prove the child carries Morrison blood. Eleanor agreed without complaint. I have nothing to hide. The test confirmed what everyone knew. Daniel was Vincent's son. Harrison's only response was chilling in its simplicity. Good, 1 heir is sufficient. Vincent didn't understand those words then. He understands them now. Harrison was limiting family size, controlling the bloodline, ensuring no complications. 2 years later, Eleanor discovered she was pregnant again. They waited to tell anyone, wanted to be certain. When they finally shared the news with Harrison over dinner at his Fifth Avenue mansion, Eleanor glowed with hope. Maybe a daughter this time. Maybe a granddaughter will soften him. Harrison's wine glass froze midair, his expression calculated, cold. Another child? Is that wise? Eleanor's smile faltered. We're so happy. We wanted to share our joy. The Morrison line doesn't need daughters. The words cut, precise, surgical. Eleanor's face crumbled. Vincent's anger ignited. But Harrison simply requested Vincent join him in the study. Private conversation. Man to man. In that wood-paneled room, smelling of cigars and old money, Harrison laid out his terms. Eleanor is unstable. Mental illness runs in her bloodline. Her grandmother was institutionalized. 2 children will push her over the edge. Think of Daniel. Think of what's best for your son. Eleanor is healthy. This is absurd. Then convince her to terminate the pregnancy, or I will remove you as CEO. The board follows my orders. You will lose everything. Your company, your income, your lifestyle, and Eleanor will suffer most when you can't provide. Vincent chose defiance. Do your worst. I won't kill my child. He began preparing legal action, consulting attorneys about removing Harrison from the board, planning to fight his father in court. Eleanor knew nothing. Vincent wanted to protect her from the stress during pregnancy, but Harrison struck first. 2 weeks after their confrontation, Vincent was working late, preparing documents for the board meeting where he planned to challenge his father's authority. His phone rang. Mrs. Chen, hysterical. "Mr. Morrison, Eleanor collapsed. She won't wake up. The ambulance is coming." Vincent raced home, arrived as paramedics loaded Eleanor into the ambulance. She was conscious but confused, eyes unfocused, speech slurred. "Vincent, what's happening? I feel strange. Where's Daniel?" The paramedics claimed possible psychotic break. The paperwork was already signed. Dr. Gerald Preston, Harrison's personal physician, a man Vincent didn't know had been treating his wife. At the hospital, Eleanor disappeared into a locked psychiatric ward. Vincent wasn't allowed to see her. Family visits can be triggering, they said. Preston explained she was suffering severe postpartum psychosis despite being pregnant with her second child, not recovering from a birth. The logic made no sense. Vincent demanded a second opinion. "Your father is handling everything. Trust us." At 2 in the morning, Harrison arrived with lawyers, commitment papers, transfer orders. Eleanor was being moved to a specialized facility, the best care money could buy. "You can't do this. I'm protecting Daniel. I'm protecting the family." Security escorted Vincent out. His last glimpse of Eleanor came through a small window. She was strapped to a gurney, heavily sedated, but her eyes found his. Her lips moved. "Protect them both, Vincent. Both. Both. The babies." She knew twins, or she knew Harrison would take the child. She was trying to warn him, but the door closed. Eleanor vanished, and Vincent never saw his wife again. For 2 weeks he fought, called lawyers, filed petitions, demanded visitation rights. Every avenue blocked. Every judge connected to Harrison. Every official on the Morrison payroll. Then April 15th, 6:17 in the morning, Harrison called. "Son, I have terrible news. Eleanor took her own life last night. She hung herself with a bedsheet. I'm sorry. The doctors did everything they could." Vincent's world ended. He demanded to see her body. Harrison refused. "Trust me, you don't want that memory. Remember her alive." The funeral happened within 36 hours. Closed casket. Harrison's insistence. Preserve her dignity. Vincent was too destroyed to fight, too medicated to question, too broken to notice the casket felt too light when the pallbearers carried it to the grave. Now he knows. Eleanor wasn't in that casket. Eleanor was alive, pregnant, imprisoned, and Harrison orchestrated everything. "My father is a murderer," Vincent says quietly. "Yes," James agrees, "and we're going to prove it." Finding Nancy Rodriguez takes James Cooper 3 days of following paper trails and dead ends. Most of the staff from Riverside Psychiatric during Eleanor's time there have vanished. Early retirements funded by generous severance packages. Relocations to other states. Sudden career changes. All signs of systematic cover-up. But Nancy refused the money. She quit 2 months after witnessing what she calls the worst thing she's ever done. And she's been carrying the guilt ever since. James finds her tending a community garden in the Bronx, 68 years old, kind eyes that have seen too much suffering. When James mentions Eleanor Morrison's name, Nancy nearly runs. "I signed papers. I can't talk about that place. A woman's life depends on your testimony." And her daughter's. Nancy freezes. "Daughter? The baby survived?" Her voice breaks. "I've prayed for 7 years she lived." They meet in Nancy's small apartment. Pictures of grandchildren cover every surface. Nancy produces a worn leather notebook from a locked drawer. "I kept a log, against all the rules, but I couldn't let those stories disappear into silence. Too many women, too many lies. This is everything they didn't want anyone to know." She opens the notebook. Her handwriting fills pages, dates, patient initials, details no official records would ever include. She finds the entry, March 28, 2016, 11:52 p.m. New patient admission, EM female, age 38, pregnant approximately 7 months. No standard commitment papers, no family information. Payment $50,000 monthly, cash, Morrison Family Trust. Patient arrived conscious and alert, begging to call her husband. Dr. Preston ordered immediate heavy sedation. 0 visitors allowed. Patient claims she's been kidnapped. Nancy's voice drops to a whisper. I believed her. She describes Eleanor's first week, fighting the sedation despite heavy medication, pleading with anyone who would listen. Please, I need to call Vincent. My son Daniel needs me. I'm not sick. This is kidnapping. My father-in-law Harrison Morrison did this. Please investigate. Staff were ordered to ignore all pleas. Patient is delusional, they were told. But Nancy documented everything. Patient is lucid, coherent, not psychotic. Why is she here? This is wrong. Eleanor never stopped singing. Even drugged into near unconsciousness, she would hum that lullaby. My little star shines so bright, rubbing her pregnant belly, whispering promises to the child inside. Mama will find you. No matter what they do, I'll find you. Every Sunday at 3 p.m., an elderly man visited. Expensive suit, cold demeanor. He never spoke to Eleanor with kindness, only checked charts and spoke privately with doctors. Nancy didn't know his identity then. She knows now. Harrison Morrison, monitoring his prisoner. Keep her sedated, she overheard him tell Dr. Preston. She must forget everything. Then came May 12th, 3:42 in the morning. Labor began. Nancy was on duty. She assisted in the delivery. No complications. A healthy baby girl, 7 pounds, 4 ounces. Perfect. For 30 seconds, they placed the baby on Eleanor's chest. Eleanor's face transformed. Pure joy, pure love. She counted tiny fingers, kissed a perfect forehead, sang through tears. My little star, you're here. Shine bright, my star, shine bright. She managed to tie something around the baby's wrist, a ribbon she'd hidden in her hospital gown. Ivory silk with gold embroidered thread spelling out shine bright. Then Dr. Preston's voice, cold as winter. That's enough. Take the baby. Eleanor screamed. No, please let me hold her. My baby. She fought despite exhaustion. It took 3 nurses to restrain her. Nancy was one of them. She helped hold Eleanor down while another nurse took the crying infant. I helped take that baby from her arms, Nancy says, tears streaming. Her screaming, I still hear it every night. The baby went to Dr. Preston. Nancy overheard his phone conversation. Baby is healthy. St. Catherine's will take her. St. Catherine's Children's Home in Brooklyn. The baby was registered as unnamed female infant, abandoned. No mother listed. No father, no history. Harrison Morrison arranged everything. After the birth, Eleanor's sedation increased dramatically. To help her forget, they said, to heal from the psychotic episode. Eleanor stayed barely conscious for weeks. When awake, she could only whisper one word. Star, star, star. 2 months later, July 2016, Eleanor was transferred again. Unknown location. Nancy wasn't told where. Eleanor's file was sealed, classified. The last time Nancy saw Eleanor, the woman's eyes tracked her as the gurney wheel passed. Eleanor's lips moved weakly. Find her, please. Nancy quit 14 days later. I couldn't work there anymore. Couldn't be complicit. She knows the death certificate is fake. No suicide happened. Eleanor was transferred alive. The certificate is dated April 15th, 3 weeks before the baby's birth. Timeline impossible. Harrison Morrison faked her death. Probably moved her somewhere even more secure. Somewhere Vincent could never find her. Vincent processes this information sitting in Nancy's small living room. Eleanor alive for 7 years. Imprisoned. Drugged. Separated from both children. His daughter stolen at birth. Put into foster care. Deliberately kept from adoption. Left to suffer until she ran at age 5 and disappeared into New York's streets. All orchestrated by his father. He didn't just steal my wife, Vincent says quietly. He stole my daughter's entire childhood. And he's kept Eleanor prisoner for 7 years. And he'll do anything to keep it hidden, James adds. If he knows you're investigating, I don't care what he does to me. Vincent's voice hardens. I'm bringing my family home. All of them. St. Catherine's Children's Home closed 2 years ago. The building stands abandoned in Brooklyn. Windows boarded, doors chained. James traces the former director to a Catholic nursing home in Queens. Sister Margaret is 79 years old, memory failing. But she remembers the baby with the unusual ribbon. She came with no name, no history, no family. We called her Luna because she arrived on a full moon night. But that ribbon said shine bright. Some staff called her Stella. She never got an official name until foster families tried adopting her. Sister Margaret describes 7 adoption attempts over 5 years. All failed at the last moment. Paperwork lost, financial situations changed, background checks flagged mysterious issues, approvals reversed. Like someone didn't want her adopted, Sister Margaret says. Like someone wanted her to disappear into the system. The girl moved through 12 foster homes by age 5. Every family reported the same issues. Night terrors, screaming for mama, obsessive drawing, singing strange lullabies in her sleep, claims of a brother she'd never met, attachment disorder, the social worker said, delusional tendencies. But Nancy's log reveals the truth. The girl was remembering, sensing, connected to a mother and brother she'd never consciously known. The final foster home was the worst. Verbal abuse, physical violence. One night after a particularly bad beating, 5-year-old Sophia climbed out a window and ran. She disappeared into New York City. Police searched. The case went cold after 6 months. I prayed every night she survived, Sister Margaret says, crying softly. Streets are cruel to children, especially one so young. But Sophia did survive. 1 year alone. At just 5 years old, learning to hide in shadows, steal scraps, trust no one. A 6-year-old who survived what most adults couldn't. Maria Santos has worked with homeless youth for 15 years. She knows Sophia, has been trying to help her for 8 months. The girl accepts occasional meals, rare showers, then vanishes again. Maria calls her Bright because she won't share her real name. When James brings Maria to meet Vincent, she shows photos on her phone. Sophia sleeping in a subway station. The ribbon visible around her wrist, faded but legible. A tiny child curled against a concrete wall. Vincent's hands shake, seeing his daughter's face clearly for the first time. I've been trying to reach her for 8 months, Maria says. She runs every time I get close. Too many people have hurt her. She doesn't trust anymore. And she's so young, 6 years old, surviving alone. But Maria knows Sophia's patterns, her regular spots, an abandoned maintenance tunnel near Times Square where she sleeps on the coldest nights. Vincent wants to go immediately. Maria stops him. No, you'll terrify her. Let me approach first, build trust, then I'll introduce you. It takes every ounce of Vincent's self-control to wait while Maria goes alone. She finds Sophia at 11 p.m. in the tunnel. The girl is wary, small, dirty, looking more like 4 than 6. What do you want, Maria? To talk about your family. Don't have family. What about that ribbon? Sophia covers it instinctively, her small hand protective. None of your business. Maria shows her phone. Eleanor's picture from 7 years ago. Sophia stares, can't breathe. The face is hers but older. Mature, familiar in a way that defies explanation. Who is that? Your mother, Eleanor Morrison. She's not dead, she's alive. Maria shows Daniel's drawings, the same images Sophia has drawn in secret for years. Same woman singing, same hospital rooms, same mountains and white buildings, same tiny girl alone. Your brother has been dreaming about you. His name is Daniel. He's 8 years old. He knew you existed before anyone else believed him. Sophia's walls crumble. She can't stop staring at the drawings, at Eleanor's face, at proof she isn't crazy, isn't alone. I want to see him, my brother. Dawn breaks over Manhattan. The park near Morrison Enterprises is nearly empty. Just early joggers and dog walkers who barely notice a small group gathered on a bench near the fountain. Vincent wears jeans and a sweater, not his usual armor of expensive suits. Maria's advice: look like a father, not a CEO. Daniel clutches his dream journal, nervous but excited. He's been waiting for this moment since he was 5 years old. Sophia approaches with Maria, defensive posture despite her small size. Backpack nearly as big as she is clutched tight. Every muscle in her tiny body ready to run. 6 years old but moving like someone much older. When she sees Daniel, something in her stance softens. The boy stands, walks toward her without fear, like he's done this 1,000 times in dreams. I know you, Sophia's voice cracks. Small, high-pitched. A child's voice. I know you too. They speak the language of shared trauma, shared connection, things they shouldn't know but do. You're afraid of thunderstorms. Sophia stares at Daniel. How? I felt it when you were sleeping in the tunnel during that storm last month. I was dreaming, but I felt your fear like it was mine. You fell off your bike when you were 6, broke your left arm. Daniel nods. I woke up and my arm hurt, even though nothing was wrong. Mom, Mrs. Chen thought I was faking. More memories spill out. Details impossible to know. Details that prove what doctors and teachers and social workers all dismissed as delusion. Then Daniel begins humming. Sophia joins without thinking. The lullaby neither should remember, but both know perfectly. Her voice high and sweet and heartbreaking. My little star, shine so bright. Through the darkness of the night, love will guide you, love will stay, leading you home, finding the way. They sing in harmony, two voices finding each other across 7 years of separation. Vincent watches through tears, his children, together. Finally, Daniel notices the ribbon around Sophia's wrist. You kept it. It's all I have from her. She fought 3 nurses to tie it on your wrist. She wanted you to know she loved you, even though you were just a baby. How do you know that? I dream her memories sometimes. I see through her eyes. I saw you being born. I saw her singing to you. I saw them take you away while she screamed. Vincent approaches slowly, kneels to Sophia's level, hands visible, non-threatening. The girl is so small, so fragile. A child who should be in 1st grade, not living on streets. Sophia, I'm Vincent, your father. She steps back. I don't have a father. I didn't know you existed until 3 days ago. I swear on Daniel's life I would have found you sooner. Your grandfather Harrison lied to everyone. Sophia's anger erupts, justified, raw, her small voice carrying pain too big for her tiny body. Where were you when I was cold? When I was hungry? When foster father hit me? I'm only 6 years old. 6! I shouldn't even know how to survive alone. Vincent doesn't defend, doesn't excuse, just speaks truth. I didn't know, God, I didn't know. They told me your mother died, told me there was no baby. I trusted my father. That was my mistake, my failure, and you paid the price. Daniel takes Sophia's hand. Dad's telling the truth. I can feel it. He's hurting too. Grandpa hurt all of us. Sophia looks between them. Father and brother. Family. The word feels foreign and impossible and desperately wanted. Where is she? My mother? We're trying to find her exact location. Harrison moved her from Riverside years ago, but we have leads. We're close. I want to help find her. Sophia, you don't have to. She's my mother. I'm little, but I can help. I know how to hide, how to be quiet. Please. Vincent sees strength in his daughter's eyes, strength born from suffering and survival. He nods. Okay, we find her together, as a family. Across town in a glass tower office, Gerald Preston watches security footage. The cameras show Vincent on a park bench with a tiny homeless child, Daniel holding the girl's hand, Maria Santos facilitating, all of it captured in grainy digital video. Gerald's hands shake as he dials Harrison Morrison. We have a problem. Vincent found the girl. Harrison's voice comes through cold as winter. How? Private investigator. They're getting close. Where is Eleanor now? Clearwater Wellness Center, Adirondacks. Move her tonight. Initiate protocol winter. Gerald hesitates. Harrison, maybe it's time to stop. Vincent is your son, and that child, she's just 6 years old. Which is why I'm protecting them from themselves. Move Eleanor immediately. I'm taking a helicopter north. I'll handle Vincent personally. At Harrison's 5th Avenue mansion, Dr. Patricia Whitmore receives her orders. Eliminate the variables. Use the girl as leverage. If that fails, arrange accidents. She opens her briefcase. Syringes, false psychiatric evaluations, commitment papers, tools she's used before, but she also turns on a small recording device hidden in her jacket. Insurance, because Patricia Whitmore learned long ago never to trust men like Harrison Morrison completely. At 9:47 p.m., Vincent receives a text from an unknown number. Stop looking or everyone you love pays the price. Your father knows. He's moving Eleanor tonight. Clearwater Wellness Center, Adirondacks. You have less than 12 hours. Come alone. Tell no one. Someone inside wants to help you. Vincent stares at the message. Someone in Harrison's circle is breaking ranks. Gerald, Patricia, unknown ally. Doesn't matter. What matters is Eleanor. Moving tonight, less than 12 hours. He assembles his team, James, Maria, Daniel, Sophia, and Rachel Foster. Rachel is a journalist who has been investigating Harrison for years. Her sister Michelle disappeared into the psychiatric system a decade ago, committed by her husband during a contentious divorce. Never emerged, hidden by the same network that imprisoned Eleanor. I'm going to help you get Eleanor, Rachel says, and I'm going to expose Harrison Morrison for exactly what he is. They gather around a map. Clearwater Wellness Center, 250 miles north, in the Adirondack Mountains. Remote, secure, designed to keep people hidden. Daniel speaks quietly. Mom's waiting. She knows we're coming. Sophia looks at her brother with wide eyes. How do you know? I can feel her. She's fighting to stay conscious. They're drugging her, but she's resisting. She's been waiting for us for 7 years. Vincent checks his watch. 10:17 p.m. 11 hours until Eleanor's transfer. 11 hours to find her. Rescue her. Bring her home. Then let's not make her wait another minute. Outside the Morrison building, Patricia Whitmore sits in her black sedan. She watches through binoculars as the team prepares to leave. She makes her call to Harrison. They're going to Clearwater tonight, and Vincent is bringing both children. Harrison's voice carries dark satisfaction. Perfect. Let them come. I'll be waiting. He boards his private helicopter, heading north through the darkness, to the facility where Eleanor has been held for 7 years, where she will be moved before Vincent can reach her, where Harrison plans to end this situation permanently. The helicopter lifts into the night sky. Below, 2 cars leave Manhattan heading north. Vincent's team racing against time, against Harrison's power, against 7 years of lies and imprisonment and stolen childhoods. The rescue has begun. 2 vehicles cut through the darkness heading north. Vincent drives the lead car. Sophia sits beside him in a booster seat Maria provided. The girl hasn't slept, won't sleep. 1 year of survival instincts don't shut off because you found family. Daniel is in the back seat, eyes closed but not resting, watching something the rest of them can't see. Behind them, James Cooper follows in his unmarked sedan. Maria Santos rides with him. Rachel Foster in the passenger seat with her camera equipment ready. This isn't just a rescue, it's documentation, evidence. The beginning of the end for Harrison Morrison's empire of silence. The highway stretches empty at this hour, just after midnight. 3 hours to Clearwater. 8 hours until Eleanor's transfer. The math is brutal. Every minute counts. Every delay could mean losing her forever. Vincent's knuckles are white on the steering wheel. He hasn't spoken in 40 minutes. Sophia watches him from the corner of her eye. This man is her father. The words feel strange, foreign. She spent 6 years believing she had no one. Now she has a father who looks like he's driving toward either salvation or destruction and can't tell which. Tell me about her. Vincent glances at Sophia, the tiny girl in the oversized seat. Your mother? I don't remember anything, just dreams, the song, that's all. Vincent's throat tightens. Where does he even start? How do you compress a lifetime of love into words a 6-year-old can understand? Eleanor was the kindest person I ever met. She worked with homeless youth before we married. Kids living on streets, like you were. That's how we met, a charity gala. She was organizing donations. I was writing a check to feel good about myself. She called me out on it. A ghost of a smile crosses his face at the memory. She said money without caring is just transaction. If I really wanted to help, I should volunteer at the shelter. So I did, just to prove her wrong. But she was right. She was always right. Sophia listens, hungry for every detail about the mother stolen from her. What else? She sang constantly, in the shower, making breakfast, driving. Your grandmother taught her that lullaby when she was little. Eleanor said singing was how her family passed down memory. Words fade, but melody stays. Daniel speaks from the back seat. eyes still closed. She's singing now. Vincent looks in the rearview mirror. Or what? Mom, she's singing the lullaby. She knows we're coming. She's trying to stay awake. They gave her medicine, but she's fighting it. Can you see where she is? Daniel's face scrunches in concentration. White room, but different than before, for nicer, like a hotel but wrong. Windows show mountains, dark outside. She's alone, waiting. Sophia reaches back, takes her brother's hand, her small fingers intertwining with his. The connection between them hums. Electric. Real. Tell her we're coming, Sophia whispers. Tell her we found each other. Tell her I kept the ribbon. Daniel squeezes his sister's hand. His lips move silently. Speaking to someone 200 miles away through channels science can't measure but family knows is real. Vincent's phone buzzes. Text from James. Got intel on Clearwater security, 12 cameras, keycard access, 4 guards rotating shifts. Dr. Maxwell Reed runs the facility. He's Harrison's man. Another text follows immediately. Also got this from our anonymous friend. An image appears. Floor plans. Clearwater Wellness Center. 3 floors. East wing marked with a red X. Room 307. Eleanor's location. Vincent forwards the image to his phone. Studies the layout while driving. 1 entrance, 1 exit. Security choke points. This is a fortress designed to keep people in and rescuers out. His phone rings. James, we have a problem. Tell me. Rachel just picked up police scanner traffic. State troopers got an alert. Suspicious vehicles heading toward Clearwater. Someone called it in. Harrison knows we're coming. Vincent's jaw clenches. Of course Harrison knows. He's always 3 steps ahead, always controlling the board. Does that change the plan? James is quiet for a moment. It means we're walking into a trap. Then we spring it. Eleanor is in that building. I'm not turning back. I know. Just wanted you to understand what we're facing. Vincent understands perfectly. This stopped being a rescue mission the moment they left Manhattan. This became a war. The facility appears through the trees at 2:37 a.m. Modern architecture. Glass and steel and money. It looks like an expensive spa. Healing retreat for the wealthy. But Vincent knows better. This is a prison with good marketing. They park half a mile away, hidden in forest off the access road. Can't risk being spotted on approach. Vincent kills the engine. Silence rushes in. Just whine through pine trees and the distant hum of Clearwater's ventilation systems. James pulls up beside them. Everyone exits quietly. Rachel immediately starts filming. Low-light camera, documenting everything. This footage goes to 3 different cloud servers, she says. If something happens to us, the world still sees the truth. Maria opens a bag, pulls out dark clothing. Everyone change. We need to blend with shadows. Sophia wears dark clothes Maria brought. Too big for her small frame. She looks even tinier in the oversized hoodie. Vincent watches his daughter, 6 years old, about to break into a secured facility. This should be impossible, but nothing about this night is normal. Daniel shivers despite the warm night. Vincent kneels beside his son. You and Sophia don't have to come inside. You can wait here with Maria. No, Daniel's voice is firm. Mom needs to see us. She needs to know we're real, not just dreams. Sophia nods, small fists clenched. I want to help find Mommy. Vincent sees Eleanor's stubbornness in both children's eyes. He nods. Okay, but you stay close to me. Both of you. Always. James spreads the floor plans on the hood of his car. Security changes shift at 3 a.m. That's our window. 7 minutes while the night crew briefs the morning team. I can loop the camera feeds for maybe 10 minutes before someone notices. We get in, get to room 37, get Eleanor, get out. Simple. Nothing about this is simple, Vincent says. No, but it's all we've got. They move through the forest, single file, James leading, Sophia directly behind him. The girl moves quietly for a 6-year-old. 1 year surviving on streets taught her to be invisible. She's teaching them through example. The facility grows larger. Lights glow warm and welcoming through windows. Vincent can see a nurse station on the 2nd floor, a guard walking a corridor. Everything looks peaceful, normal. Evil doesn't announce itself with darkness and screams. Evil wears a pleasant face and offers comfort while stealing freedom. James stops at the tree line, maybe 70 yards from the building. He pulls out a laptop, begins typing. Lines of code scroll across the screen. I'm accessing their security network. Give me 3 minutes. Rachel films the building, narrating softly. Clearwater Wellness Center, owned by Preston Holdings. Gerald Preston, board member, majority shareholder. The same Preston Holdings that owns 11 similar facilities across 6 states. A network of places where inconvenient people disappear. Daniel grabs Vincent's arm. She knows we're here. How? I don't know. She just does. She's scared but also hopeful. It's been so long since she felt hope. Vincent's heart clenches. Eleanor has been prisoner for 7 years. Has she given up? Has she forgotten what freedom feels like? The thought of his wife broken and empty terrifies him more than Harrison's threats. James closes his laptop. We're in. Cameras are looped, but we still have the guard problem. And keycard locks. Sophia steps forward. From her pocket, she produces a bent paper clip and a hairpin. I can try to open it. Vincent stares at his daughter, 6 years old. Where did you learn that? Streets. Had to get into locked dumpsters for food, locked sheds to sleep when it was cold. Her small hands work with the tools. I can do this. Maria looks uncomfortable. This child has survived things no child should face. But right now, those survival skills might save Eleanor's life. Can you get us inside? Sophia nods. Service entrance, the east side. Give me 2 minutes. She vanishes into darkness. Vincent barely sees her move, just a tiny shadow flowing across the parking lot toward the building. His daughter, 6 years old, breaking into a secured facility because she had to learn these things to survive. James checks his watch. 3:04, shift change happening now. We've got maybe 5 minutes before someone checks the cameras and realizes they're looped. A soft click echoes across the distance. The service entrance door opens. Sophia's small silhouette waves them forward. They run, low and fast. Vincent carries Daniel. James and Maria flank them. Rachel films while moving. Professional, focused. They reach the door, slip inside. Sophia closes it behind them. The interior is exactly what Vincent expected. Hospital clean, expensively decorated. Abstract art on walls. Soft lighting. Classical music plays quietly from hidden speakers. It's designed to feel calm, safe. But Vincent knows this building holds people against their will. This building is where his wife has been imprisoned. They're in a service corridor, concrete floor, utility pipes along the ceiling, staff-only access. Sophia leads them to a stairwell, 3rd floor, east wing, room 37. They climb in silence. Vincent's heart pounds, not from exertion, from anticipation, from terror. He's about to see Eleanor for the first time in 7 years. What if she doesn't recognize him? What if the drugs destroyed her mind? What if she's not the woman he married but some broken shell? Daniel squeezes his hand. She's still her, Dad. She's still Mom. They reach the 3rd floor. James cracks the stairwell door, peers into the corridor. Empty. The east wing stretches before them. Numbered doors, locked rooms, individual prisons dressed as healing spaces. Room 307 is at the end of the hall. They move quickly, quietly. Vincent's hands shake as they approach. This door. Behind this door is Eleanor. Sophia has her paperclip and hairpin out. Working the lock, her small hands moving with the practiced movements no 6-year-old should have. 60 seconds. Click. The door opens. The room is dark except for moonlight through the window. A figure sits in a chair facing the glass. Dark hair streaked with gray. Thin shoulders. Patient gown hanging loose. She doesn't turn as they enter. Just speaks. Voice hoarse from years of chemical suppression. I know you're not staff. Staff doesn't pick locks, and staff certainly doesn't bring children on rounds. Vincent can barely breathe. That voice. Eleanor's voice. Older. Tired. But Eleanor. Eleanor. Now she turns. Slowly, like movement requires great effort. Her face emerges from shadow into moonlight, and Vincent's knees nearly buckle. She's aged. 7 years of imprisonment carved lines around her eyes and mouth. Gray streaks her hair. Her cheeks are hollow. But her eyes. God, her eyes are exactly as he remembers. sharp, aware, alive. Vincent, she stands, wobbles slightly. Maria moves to steady her, but Eleanor waves her off. She crosses the room under her own power. Each step deliberate, determined. She stops in front of Vincent, studies his face like confirming he's real. You came. I'm sorry it took so long. You didn't know. Harrison is very good at hiding people. She looks past Vincent, sees Daniel. Her hand flies to her mouth. Tears stream instantly. My baby, you're so big, so beautiful. Daniel runs to her. Eleanor drops to her knees, wraps him in arms that shake with emotion and weakness. She's crying into his hair. He's crying into her shoulder. 7 years of separation collapsing into this moment. I dreamed about you, Daniel sobs. Every night, I knew you were alive. I dreamed about you too, my little star. I felt you looking for me. You kept me sane when everything else tried to make me forget. Vincent watches his wife and son. This reunion he thought impossible. This moment Harrison stole from them. Rage burns through his grief. His father will pay for this. Every day Eleanor suffered. Every night Daniel cried. Every moment Sophia spent alone on cold streets. Harrison will answer for all of it. Eleanor looks up, sees Sophia standing back. The tiny girl, so small, so fragile. Eleanor's expression transforms. Wonder, recognition, love. You. Sophia takes a step back. I don't remember you. I know, sweetheart. You were so tiny, just seconds old. But I memorized your face. Every detail. I've been seeing you in dreams for 7 years. Watching you grow. You're exactly as beautiful as I imagined. Eleanor stands slowly, walks towards Sophia. The girl tenses, flight response kicking in. But something keeps her rooted. Some deep cellular knowledge that this woman is safe. May I hug you? Sophia nods. Can't speak. Eleanor wraps her arms around the daughter she held for 30 seconds 7 years ago. Sophia stands rigid. Then slowly her small arms come up, circle her mother's thin frame, and the girl who survived a year alone begins to cry. I'm sorry, Eleanor whispers. I'm so sorry. They took you. I fought. I swear I fought. But they were too strong. I know. Daniel showed me. In his dreams, he saw you fighting. Saw you tie the ribbon on my wrist. Eleanor pulls back, looks at Sophia's wrist, the faded ivory ribbon. Eleanor's fingers trace the embroidered letters with shaking hands. Shine bright, my little star. I prayed you kept it. Prayed somehow you'd know it meant you were loved. That I never forgot you. Not for 1 second in 7 years. James clears his throat. This is beautiful, but we need to move. Security will realize the cameras are looped any minute. Vincent helps Eleanor stand. She's weak, malnourished. Years of medications have atrophied her muscles. But her mind is sharp, alert, aware. They've been reducing my medications the past few weeks. Easier to transport conscious patients than sedated ones. I've been pretending to be more drugged than I am, preparing for this. Somehow I knew you'd come. Can you walk? I'll crawl if I have to. I'm not staying here another second. They move toward the door. James leads. Maria supports Eleanor. Vincent keeps Daniel and Sophia close, both children holding hands. Rachel films everything. Evidence. Proof. Truth. The corridor is still empty. They reach the stairwell, start descending. 3rd floor, 2nd floor, almost to ground level. Then alarms scream to life. Red lights flash, sirens wail. Electronic locks slam into place throughout the building. Doors seal, windows reinforce. The entire facility transforms into a cage in seconds. They know, James says. Move, now! They run down the final flight, hit the ground floor corridor, but the service entrance is sealed. Electronic lock engaged. Sophia tries her paperclip. No good. This is electronic security. No mechanical bypass. East exit, Maria says. Emergency door has to open from inside by law. They sprint through corridors, staff emerging from rooms, confused, frightened. A nurse screams. A guard reaches for his radio. James puts him down with a tackle. They keep moving. The east exit comes into view. Vincent hits the panic bar. Nothing. The door doesn't budge. Fire alarm locked it down, James says. I need 30 seconds to override. We don't have 30 seconds, Rachel replies. She's right. Guards are converging. 4 men, armed with tasers and radios. Behind them, more staff. And then a voice cuts through the chaos. Cold. Female. Controlled. Nobody move. Dr. Patricia Whitmore steps into the corridor. She wears an expensive pantsuit. Professional. Calm. In her hand, a small pistol. Not standard security equipment. Personal weapon. Premeditated. Vincent steps in front of his family. Eleanor and both children behind him. Dr. Whitmore, I should have known. You should have stayed in Manhattan, Vincent. This didn't have to end badly. End? This is just beginning. The truth is coming out. Harrison's finished. Patricia smiles. Cold. Harrison pays me $5 million to ensure the truth stays buried. That's significant motivation. Eleanor speaks, voice weak but steady. You were there 7 years ago. You drugged me in my own home. You called the ambulance. You started all this. I did what I was paid to do. Nothing personal. You helped steal my daughter. You watched them sedate me while I screamed. You've kept me prisoner for 7 years. That's very personal. Patricia's gun doesn't waver. You were a problem that needed solving. Harrison's methods might be old-fashioned, but they're effective. Daniel moves forward. Vincent tries to pull him back, but the boy dodges his grip. 8 years old, facing down an armed woman. You're the lady from my dreams, the one who hurts people. Patricia's smile falters. Stay back, child. You're scared, I can feel it. You're scared because you know this is wrong. I said stay back, but Daniel keeps walking. Slowly, small hands at his sides. You had a daughter once. I see her in your memories. You lost her. That's why you don't care about hurting other people's children. Because you couldn't save yours. Patricia's gun hand shakes. Shut up. Her name was Amanda. She was 7. The car accident wasn't your fault, but you think it was. You've been punishing yourself ever since by becoming someone she'd be ashamed of. Shut up. The gun rises, aimed at Daniel. Sophia moves, small but fast. She grabs Patricia's arm with tiny hands, bites down hard on the wrist. Street instincts. Fight dirty. Survive. Patricia yells. The gun wavers. Vincent tackles Patricia. They struggle. The gun discharges. Bullet hits ceiling. Plaster rains down. Guards converge. James intercepts one. Maria grabs another. Rachel's camera captures everything. Vincent reaches Patricia, pulls Sophia away from the woman, and Patricia scrambles for her gun. Vincent steps on her wrist, grinds down. The weapon drops. He kicks it away. Patricia looks up at him. You're making a mistake. The only mistake I made was trusting my father. That ends tonight. Eleanor appears beside him. She looks down at Patricia. 7 years of rage and pain focused into this moment. You asked if I could forgive you. I can't, but I can make sure you never hurt another family. Rachel kneels beside Patricia, camera in her face. Dr. Patricia Whitmore, on record, working for Harrison Morrison, participating in kidnapping, false imprisonment, and conspiracy, all documented. Patricia's face goes pale. You can't air that. Already uploading to 3 servers, the world is watching. James gets the electronic lock overridden. The east exit clicks open. Cool night air rushes in. Freedom. Escape. But Eleanor stops. Wait. Mom, we have to go, Daniel urges. Not yet. There's something I need. Eleanor turns back toward the corridor. My room, 307. There's evidence, proof of everything I've been documenting for 7 years. Eleanor, we don't have time, Vincent says. We make time. Without that evidence, Harrison walks. You know he will. Money buys silence. Power buys amnesia. But I have proof even he can't suppress. What kind of proof? Names, dates, conversations I overheard, patients I met, staff who confessed, financial records I memorized. 7 years of building a case in a notebook hidden in my mattress. It's everything you need to destroy him. Vincent looks at James. How long until police arrive? Maybe 5 minutes. Can you get to room 307 and back in 5 minutes? James nods. If Eleanor tells me exactly where to look. Eleanor grips his arm. Third floor, east wing, end of hall, my room, single bed, mattress has a seam on the left side near the foot. Notebook is sewn inside. Brown leather. About this thick. She indicates with her fingers. James looks at Vincent. I'll need someone to watch my back. Sophia steps forward. I'll go. Absolutely not, Vincent says. Dad, I'm fast. I know how to move quiet, and I'm little. People don't see little kids. Please, Westkier. Vincent wants to refuse, wants to keep his daughter safe, but he sees determination in her eyes, the same stubbornness Eleanor has, the same refusal to back down. And pragmatically, a 6-year-old is less threatening than an adult if caught. Fine, but you do exactly what James says. Exactly. They take off running, back into the facility. Sophia's footsteps barely whisper. James tries to match her silence and can't. The girl learned from necessity what he learned from training. She's better. They reach the stairwell, climb fast. Third floor. The corridor shows signs of the earlier struggle. Guards still unconscious or dazed. They reach 307. Door still open. James goes to the bed, finds the seam, pulls out a pocket knife, cuts stitching. A brown leather notebook slides out. Worn, stained, filled with Eleanor's handwriting. 7 years of evidence compressed into pages. Got it. Let's move. They turn to leave. Harrison Morrison stands in the doorway. He's 76 years old. Gray hair, expensive suit despite the hour. He looks tired, old, but his eyes carry the same cold intelligence that built empires and destroyed anyone who threatened them. James, put the notebook down. James positions himself between Harrison and Sophia. Can't do that, Harrison. That notebook is private medical documentation. Taking it is theft. This notebook is evidence of 7 years of felonies. Taking it is justice. Harrison's gaze shifts to Sophia, studies her face, sees Eleanor in every feature. The tiny girl stares back, defiant despite her size. You're the girl, the infant we placed in foster care. Sophia doesn't flinch, her small voice steady. You stole me from my mother, threw me away like garbage, made me live on streets. I was 5 years old. I gave you to people who could raise you properly. Not my fault they couldn't handle a difficult child. Difficult? I was a baby. You separated me from my family. Let me be hurt. I'm 6 years old and I know how to pick locks and steal food and hide from police. 6 years old. And you survived. That proves strength. Perhaps you have Morrison blood after all. The words are designed to wound, to suggest Sophia's worth comes from his lineage. James sees Sophia's small hands clench into fists. We're leaving, Harrison. You can't stop us. I already have. Harrison pulls out a phone, shows the screen. Police are surrounding the building. I've explained there's been a break-in. Violent intruders threatening staff and patients. Armed and dangerous. They're authorized to use necessary force. James's jaw tightens. You're bluffing. Am I? Test me. Sirens wail in the distance, getting closer. Harrison's expression doesn't change. Put down the notebook. Leave Eleanor here. Take the children and go. I'll tell police it was a misunderstanding. Everyone walks away. Except Eleanor stays prisoner. Eleanor receives the care she needs. She's mentally ill, James. Surely you can see that. This delusion that she was kidnapped, these paranoid fantasies, she needs help. The only delusion is thinking we'd believe you. Sophia moves, fast, learned from street fights and survival. She grabs the notebook from James, runs. Harrison reaches for her, but she's already past him. Into the corridor. Running toward the stairwell, tiny legs pumping, backpack bouncing. Harrison shouts after her, "Stupid girl, you're just like your mother, weak." James tackles Harrison. 76 years old or not, this man orchestrated 7 years of suffering. James's fist connects with Harrison's jaw. Once. Twice. Years of restrained fury unleashed. Harrison crumples. Not unconscious, but dazed. Blood from his lip. James leaves him on the floor. runs after Sophia. They reach the ground floor. Vincent and the others are at the east exit. Blue and red lights flash through windows. Police. Lots of police. The building is surrounded. Vincent sees the notebook in Sophia's small hands. You got it. Harrison's upstairs. He called the cops, said we're dangerous. Vincent looks at Eleanor, his wife, free for the first time in 7 years. He looks at his children, Daniel and Sophia, together finally, his family, whole. And he's about to lose them to his father's manipulations one more time. No, not this time. Rachel, are you streaming? Live to 50,000 viewers and climbing. Vincent steps toward the door, toward the police lights. Then let's show them the truth. He opens the door, hands raised, surrendering, complying, but his voice carries across the parking lot to the assembled officers and their weapons. My name is Vincent Morrison. I'm here to rescue my wife who has been illegally imprisoned for 7 years. Everything you need to know is being broadcast live right now. The woman behind me is Eleanor Morrison, legally declared dead 7 years ago, but very much alive, kidnapped by my father, Harrison Morrison. And we have proof. Eleanor steps into the doorway beside him, hands also raised. The police see her, cameras see her. 50,000 viewers become 100,000, then 200,000. Eleanor speaks, weak but clear. I am Eleanor Morrison. I was kidnapped 7 years ago while pregnant. My daughter was stolen at birth and put into foster care. I have been held in psychiatric facilities against my will, drugged, isolated, erased. My husband thought I was dead. My son thought I was dead. But I'm alive, and I'm ready to testify. Sophia steps forward, raises the notebook with both small hands. This is 7 years of evidence. Names, dates, financial records, other people illegally detained. All documented, all real, all pointing to Harrison Morrison and his conspiracy. Daniel is last, small, 8 years old, but his voice carries. My grandpa is a bad man. He hurt my mom. He hurt my baby sister. He hurt our whole family. Please don't let him hurt anyone else. The police lower their weapons, confused, uncertain. This doesn't match what they were told, what they were expecting. A state trooper steps forward. Ma'am, do you need medical attention? I need freedom, Eleanor says, and I need my father-in-law arrested. Inside the building, Harrison Morrison watches through a window, watches his son, his grandchildren, his daughter-in-law, all arrayed against him, all telling truths he paid millions to keep hidden. He pulls out his phone, makes one call. Gerald, I need you to initiate the contingency. Gerald Preston's voice comes through tired, defeated. No, Harrison, it's over. I sent Vincent everything, financial records, facility locations, your entire network. I'm done being your accomplice. Gerald, don't be foolish. We can contain this. I don't want to contain it anymore. My daughter has been in one of your facilities for 5 years. I helped put her there. I've become exactly what I hate, what you are, but that ends now. I'm testifying against you. I'm giving them everything. The line goes dead. Harrison stands alone, his empire crumbling, his son choosing justice over loyalty, his carefully constructed lies exposed to the world. He could run. Money and connections could get him to countries without extradition. He could disappear like he made others disappear. But Harrison Morrison didn't build an empire by running. He walks downstairs, out the front entrance, hands at his sides, facing his son across 20 yards of parking lot, police between them, cameras broadcasting everything. Vincent, father, this is a mistake. The only mistake was trusting you. Everything I did was to protect this family. Eleanor's voice cuts across the distance. You didn't protect us. You destroyed us. Harrison looks at her, really looks at her, perhaps for the first time seeing the woman instead of the problem. I gave you the best care available. You gave me prison. You were unstable. I was pregnant. I was in love. I was building a family, and you couldn't control that. So you erased me. Harrison has no answer. What can he say? She's right. He knows she's right. But admitting it means admitting 7 years of crimes. Decades of similar crimes, an empire built on silencing inconvenient truths. The state trooper approaches Harrison. Sir, I'm going to need you to come with me. We have questions. I have lawyers. I'm sure you do, but right now, you're coming with us. They put Harrison Morrison in handcuffs. At 76 years old, billionaire, power broker, destroyer of families, reduced to another criminal in the back of a police car. Vincent watches his father being driven away. Feels nothing. No satisfaction, no grief. Just emptiness where a father's love should have been. Eleanor collapses. Vincent catches her. She's held together by pure will for hours, but will only carries you so far. Her body is shutting down. Years of medication and malnourishment catching up. We need a hospital, Vincent shouts. She needs help now. Paramedics rush forward, load Eleanor onto a stretcher. Vincent won't leave her side. Neither will Daniel or Sophia. The tiny girl holds her mother's hand. The family that was torn apart refuses to be separated again. As the ambulance pulls away, lights flashing, Rachel Foster continues streaming. 3 million viewers now. The story spreading across social media like wildfire. Eleanor Morrison's name trending worldwide. Harrison Morrison's crimes exposed in real time. Inside the ambulance, Eleanor holds Vincent's hand. Weak, exhausted, but smiling. You came for me. Always. I'm sorry it took so long. You're here now. That's what matters. Daniel and Sophia sit on either side of their mother. The family Eleanor dreamed about for 7 years. The family that survived separation through dreams and ribbons and songs passed down through generations. Eleanor's eyes close. Not unconsciousness, just rest. Real rest. The kind that only comes with freedom. Vincent watches his wife breathe, watches his children hold her hands, and knows the fight isn't over. Harrison will lawyer up. The system will try to protect the wealthy and powerful. But this time, the truth is already out. This time, the world is watching. This time, justice might actually win. Manhattan General Hospital becomes home for the Morrison family. Eleanor occupies a private room on the 7th floor. Not because Vincent demands luxury, because she needs isolation. Protection. 7 years of institutional medication requires careful medical supervision. Detoxification. Rebalancing. Healing. The first 48 hours are the hardest. Eleanor's body fights withdrawal, shaking, nausea, fever. The medications that kept her docile and controlled have burrowed deep into her system. Removing them means pain. But Eleanor endures. She survived worse, much worse. Vincent never leaves her bedside. He sleeps in the chair beside her, holds her hand through the tremors, wipes her forehead during fever spikes. For 7 years, he thought she was dead. He won't waste another moment. Daniel visits every day after school, brings his drawings, shows his mother the art that kept her alive in his mind. Eleanor studies each page, touches his careful pencil lines, sees herself through her son's psychic visions. You drew me singing. You were always singing, Mom, even when they tried to make you stop. The song kept me sane, knowing you might hear it somehow, knowing you were out there listening. Sophia comes at night, still uncomfortable during daylight, still carrying street instincts that say visibility equals danger. She sits in shadows, watches her mother, learning this woman who gave her life and lost her in the same breath. The hospital staff brings a small bed into Eleanor's room. Sophia won't sleep anywhere else. She curls up next to her mother's bed each night, one small hand reaching through the rail to hold Eleanor's fingers, making sure her mother doesn't disappear again. Eleanor doesn't push, doesn't demand affection or connection, just offers presence, patience. The ribbon Sophia still wears catches hospital fluorescent light, ivory silk faded to gray, gold thread tarnished. But the words remain. Shine bright. Tell me about the streets, Eleanor says one night. Sophia tenses. We go. Because that's where you survived. That's where you became who you are. I want to know my daughter. So Sophia talks, haltingly at first, then with increasing honesty. The cold, the hunger, the fear of every approaching stranger, finding places to sleep where bigger kids couldn't find her. learning which store owners would give her scraps and which would call police, the shame of being dirty, the necessity of stealing, the rules you learn or you die. Eleanor cries, not from pity, from pride mixed with heartbreak. You survived, my star, 1 year alone at 5 years old. That's not weakness. That's strength I could never match. You're the bravest person I know. You survived 7 years imprisoned. That's different. I had no choice. You chose to live every single day. Chose to keep going when giving up would have been easier. You're 6 years old and you're a survivor. That takes courage I can barely comprehend. Sophia's walls crack, just slightly, enough to let her mother see the scared child beneath the street-hardened survivor. I don't know how to be a daughter. I don't know how to be a mother to you. We'll learn together. The hospital room becomes a cocoon, protected space where broken pieces slowly align. Not perfectly, not completely, but enough. Enough to start building something that might someday become family. Dr. Sarah Martinez oversees Eleanor's care. Toxicology specialist. She's blunt about the prognosis. 7 years of heavy psychiatric medications, antipsychotics, sedatives, mood stabilizers, all unnecessary for someone with no actual mental illness. Your wife's body has been chemically restrained since your daughter was born. Full recovery will take months, maybe years. Some effects might be permanent. Vincent absorbs this. More theft, more damage, more cost for Harrison's control. What can I do? Be patient. Let her heal at her own pace. She's been powerless for 7 years. Give her power now. Let her make decisions, even small ones. What to eat, when to sleep, who to see. Return control to her life. So Vincent does. He asks instead of decides, offers instead of demands. Lets Eleanor dictate the terms of her own recovery. It's harder than he expected. His instinct is to protect, to manage, to fix. But Eleanor doesn't need fixing. She needs autonomy. 3 weeks into her hospital stay, Eleanor asks for something unexpected. I want to see Patricia. Vincent nearly refuses. Why would you want to see her? Because she's the key to everything. She was there from the beginning. She knows details I don't. And I need to understand why she helped Harrison, why she chose money over morality. I need to hear her explain it. Eleanor, she tried to kill us. I know, but I need to face her. I need her to face me. Please. Vincent arranges it. Patricia Whitmore is being held without bail pending trial. Multiple counts, kidnapping, conspiracy, attempted murder. The evidence is overwhelming. Rachel's footage, Daniel's testimony, Nancy Rodriguez's logbook, Patricia's own words caught on camera. But Patricia has something Vincent needs. Recordings, years of conversations with Harrison, insurance she kept in case her employer turned on her. Now she's offering those recordings in exchange for a reduced sentence. Her lawyer negotiated testimony immunity. Patricia will give them everything. The meeting happens in a conference room at the federal building. High security, guards outside, lawyers present. Eleanor sits across from Patricia, Vincent beside his wife, James and Rachel documenting everything. Patricia looks smaller, prison orange instead of expensive suits. No makeup, hair pulled back. She won't meet Eleanor's eyes. Look at me, Eleanor says, voice steady, strong. Patricia raises her gaze, sees Eleanor for the first time as a person instead of a problem. The woman across the table isn't broken, isn't destroyed. She's alive, aware, powerful. Why? Patricia understands the question. Money. Harrison offered $500,000 to help orchestrate your disappearance. Then $50,000 monthly to monitor and report. Over 7 years, that's $4.7 million. I was in debt, divorced, lost my medical license in another state for prescription fraud. Harrison offered a second chance. By destroying my life? By solving his problem. You weren't supposed to be real to me. Just a complication that needed managing. Eleanor leans forward. Did you ever think about the baby you helped steal? About what happened to her? Patricia's jaw tightens. I tried not to. Try now. She ended up on the streets, 5 years old. That wasn't supposed to happen. Foster care was supposed to work. But Harrison made sure it didn't work. Made sure no family could successfully adopt her. made sure she stayed lost in the system until she ran. She's 6 years old now, 6. She knows how to pick locks and steal food and hide from adults. Where was your conscience then? Patricia has no answer. What can she say? That she didn't know she knew? She chose not to care, chose money over morality, chose millions of dollars over one woman's freedom and one child's safety. Eleanor stands, looks down at the woman who helped imprison her. I don't forgive you, but I'll accept your testimony. Not for you, for the other people still imprisoned, for the families still broken. Help us free them, and maybe you can live with yourself. Maybe. So Patricia nods, broken, defeated. She reaches for a folder, hands it to Vincent. Everything Harrison said, everything he ordered, 7 years of recordings. He thought I was loyal. I was just careful. Vincent opens the folder, sees transcripts, audio files, video recordings, Harrison Morrison in his own words, ordering kidnappings, authorizing drugging, discussing how to silence anyone who questioned. Proof, undeniable proof. Why are you giving us this? Patricia finally meets his eyes. Because my daughter Amanda would be ashamed of who I became. And because some things matter more than money. I learned that too late. But maybe it's not too late for the people still trapped. They leave Patricia in that conference room. Eleanor walks out stronger than she entered. Facing her captor didn't break her. It freed her. Harrison Morrison's trial becomes the most watched court proceeding in decades. Cameras allowed inside. Every major network broadcasting live. The courtroom packed with journalists, victims, families of the imprisoned, all waiting to see if money and power can buy innocence one more time. The charges are extensive. 47 counts of false imprisonment, 15 counts of kidnapping, 89 counts of fraud, conspiracy, attempted murder. The prosecutor presents the case methodically, building layer upon layer of evidence that forms a wall Harrison cannot scale. Patricia's recordings play. Harrison's voice fills the courtroom. Cold, calculating, ordering Eleanor's kidnapping, authorizing increased sedation, discussing how to make the death certificate appear legitimate, arranging Sophia's placement in foster care with instructions to ensure no successful adoption. Every word damning, every sentence another nail. Gerald Preston testifies. Broken, remorseful, he admits his own complicity, his own daughter institutionalized with his cooperation. He provides financial records showing money flowing from Harrison's accounts to 12 different facilities across 6 states. Shell corporations, offshore accounts, money laundering, all designed to hide a network of private prisons for inconvenient people. Nancy Rodriguez takes the stand, reads from her logbook, describes Eleanor's imprisonment, the birth, the separation. Sophia torn from her mother's arms while Eleanor screamed. The jury listens, several members crying openly. Then Eleanor testifies. She walks to the stand, head high, voice steady, 7 years of stolen life compressed into 90 minutes of testimony. She describes the kidnapping, the drugging, the years of chemical restraints, the monthly visits from Harrison where he checked on her like livestock being prepared for market, the erasure of her identity, the theft of her daughter, the complete destruction of her family. Harrison's lawyers try to discredit her, suggest the medications prove mental instability. Eleanor dismantles their argument with precision. I had no mental illness before my imprisonment. Multiple psychiatrists confirmed this during my pregnancy. The medications were used to control me, to keep me docile, to make me forget. They failed. I remembered everything, every day, every person, every crime. For 7 years, I documented in my mind what I couldn't write down, until I could write it down. And now the world knows what Harrison Morrison is willing to do to maintain control. Daniel testifies, 8 years old, small in the witness chair, but his voice carries across the silent courtroom. I dreamed about my mom and sister for 3 years. Nobody believed me. They said I was making it up, but I wasn't. I knew they were real because I could feel them. And my grandfather knew too. That's why he sent Dr. Whitmore to watch me, to make sure I didn't figure out the truth, but I did. And now everyone knows. Sophia testifies last, 6 years old, tiny in the witness chair. Her legs don't reach the floor, but her voice is clear. strong. She tells her story without self-pity, no embellishment, just facts. 5 years in foster care, running at age 5, 1 year on Manhattan streets, cold, hungry, alone. Because Harrison Morrison decided her existence was inconvenient. He could have let my mother keep me. He could have let my father raise me. Instead, he threw me away like garbage. I'm only 6 years old. I shouldn't know how to survive on streets. But I learned because I had to. I survived because of the ribbon my mother gave me, because of the mom, because somehow I knew someone was looking for me. And I'm here to make sure he never throws away another child. The courtroom is silent. Several jurors wipe tears. The judge looks down at Sophia with something like awe. This tiny child, this survivor. The defense presents their case. Character witnesses for Harrison. Business leaders, politicians, philanthropists, all testifying about his generosity, his vision, his contributions to society. But their words ring hollow against the recordings, the documents, the testimony of his victims, especially the testimony of a 6-year-old girl who survived a year on streets alone. Harrison takes the stand. His lawyers advise against it. But Harrison Morrison didn't build an empire by backing down. He faces the prosecutor, faces his son, faces Eleanor, faces the tiny granddaughter he threw away, and he shows no remorse. Everything I did was to protect my family. Eleanor was unstable. The pregnancy was dangerous. I made the choice I thought was necessary. Necessary to imprison her for 7 years? Necessary to prevent her from destroying my son's life, from corrupting my grandson, from diluting the Morrison bloodline. The prosecutor lets the words hang. Bloodline, corruption, Harrison's true motivation exposed, not protection, control, eugenics, belief that some of people deserve freedom and others deserve erasure. And Sophia Morrison, the infant you placed in foster care, was that protection? That child was born of Eleanor's instability. Raising her alongside Daniel would have been irresponsible. So you threw a newborn into the system, ensured she could never be adopted. Let her end up homeless at 5 years old. She's 6 now, 6 years old. And you think that was responsible? Harrison looks at Sophia in the gallery. The tiny girl stares back, unafraid. She survived. That proves Morrison's strength. No, Mr. Morrison, that proves her strength, despite you, not because of you. Harrison has no answer that doesn't reveal his cruelty, so he says nothing, returns to his seat, refuses to look at his son, at his grandchildren. At the daughter-in-law he imprisoned. The jury deliberates 4 hours, returns with verdict, guilty on all counts. Sentencing comes 2 weeks later. Judge Patricia Chen reads the charges, the convictions, then delivers judgment. Mr. Morrison, you wielded your wealth and power like weapons against those who could not defend themselves. You imprisoned your daughter-in-law for 7 years. You stole your granddaughter's childhood, throwing a newborn into foster care and ensuring she ended up homeless at 5 years old. You traumatized your grandson with years of lies, and you orchestrated a network that destroyed dozens of families. This court sentences you to 25 years to life in federal prison. No possibility of parole for 20 years. You will spend the rest of your life paying for the lives you destroyed. Harrison shows no emotion, just stands, accepts the handcuffs, walks out of court toward decades behind bars. Vincent watches his father leave, feels nothing. No satisfaction, no grief, just relief. The nightmare is over. 6 months after the trial, the Morrison family lives in a Brooklyn brownstone. Not the Manhattan penthouse. Too many memories. Too much Harrison. This new space is smaller, warmer, filled with photographs and Daniel's drawings and Sophia's growing collection of art supplies. Eleanor has gained weight. Color returned to her cheeks. Gray fading from her hair with proper nutrition and no medications. She moves stronger, laughs more. The woman Vincent married emerging from years of chemical fog. But trauma doesn't disappear with freedom. Eleanor still wakes screaming, still checks locks obsessively, still panics in small rooms. Therapy helps. Dr. Martinez recommended a specialist who works with long-term captivity survivors. 3 sessions weekly, progress measured in small victories. Vincent and Eleanor sleep in the same bed, but intimacy remains complicated. 7 years apart, bodies aged, trust damaged. They're learning each other again, slowly, patiently. Some nights Eleanor can't be touched. Other nights she clings to Vincent like he might disappear. They're navigating new territory without maps. "I'm not who I was," Eleanor says one night. "Neither am I. We're who we are now. That's enough." Daniel thrives. The dreams that tormented him for years have transformed. Now he dreams of normal things: school, friends, soccer games. The psychic connection to his mother and sister remains, but it's gentler now, less urgent. They're together. The searching is over. He's writing a book with help from a child psychologist. The dream thread tells his story, how he found his family through visions others called impossible, how believing in what he felt saved them all. Publishers are interested, movie studios calling. Daniel doesn't understand the attention. He just wanted to find his mom. Sophia struggles most. 1 year of survival instincts at age 5 and 6 don't shut off because you have a bedroom and regular meals. She still hoards food under her bed, still sleeps in her clothes, still positions herself near exits, still doesn't trust easily. But she's trying. Enrolled in first grade through a program for displaced youth. 3 years behind academically, but catching up fast. Never learned to read or write on streets. Teachers report she's brilliant, just never had the chance to show it. She's especially gifted in art, drawing, painting, processing trauma through creation. Child psychologist says she has PTSD, attachment disorder, night terrors, separation anxiety. Progress is slow but steady. She's 6 years old dealing with issues most adults couldn't handle. Eleanor and Sophia meet for hot chocolate every Sunday morning. Just the two of them, building connection piece by careful piece. Eleanor doesn't push, doesn't demand the relationship she missed, just offers consistency, presence, unconditional acceptance. "You don't have to call me Mom," Eleanor says one morning. "What should I call you?" "Whatever feels right. Eleanor is fine, Mom is fine, Mama is fine. We don't have rules, we just have us." Sophia considers this. She's been calling Eleanor by name for 6 months, but the word Mom has been hovering, waiting, testing whether it's safe to use. "Maybe Mom, sometimes, when it feels right, whenever you're ready." The Sunday after that conversation, Sophia arrives at their usual coffee shop. Eleanor is already there, reading. Sophia slides into the booth across from her, small feet dangling above the floor. "Hey, Mom." Eleanor looks up, smiles, doesn't make it a big deal, just accepts the gift her daughter offered. "Hey, baby." And they drink hot chocolate. Two people slowly becoming family. The Morrison Family Justice Foundation opens 8 months after Harrison's conviction, headquartered in the converted Morrison Enterprises building. Vincent stepped down as CEO, liquidated his personal shares, $500 million into foundation funding. His fortune, built on his father's legacy, redirected toward undoing that legacy's damage. Eleanor serves as president. Rachel Foster runs investigations. James Cooper handles security. Maria Santos directs family services. Gerald Preston advises from prison via video calls. His sentence reduced to 10 years for cooperation. He's using that time to help identify others still imprisoned. The foundation's first priority is Harrison's network. 12 facilities, 47 documented victims, unknown how many more. Teams deploy to each location. Investigators, lawyers, medical staff, camera crews documenting everything. Rachel ensures the world watches. Transparency prevents cover-up. The first rescue happens at Riverside Psychiatric. Nancy Rodriguez guides them through the facility she once worked. They find 8 people imprisoned like Eleanor was, sedated, isolated, forgotten. Families are contacted. Reunions happen. Cameras catch every tearful embrace, every moment of recognition, every family made whole. Within 6 months, 127 people have been freed, men and women, ages ranging from 19 to 74, all imprisoned by families who decided they were inconvenient, too demanding, too different, too much trouble, all locked away and forgotten until the foundation found them. Congress passes the Eleanor Morrison Act. Federal legislation establishing strict oversight for private psychiatric facilities, patient rights protection, mandatory independent medical evaluations, public databases, whistleblower protection, everything designed to prevent another Harrison Morrison from operating in shadows. Eleanor testifies before Congress. Her story broadcast nationwide. Politicians from both parties stand and applaud. Rare moment of unity. Everyone agrees. This matters. This is justice. Daniel's book publishes. The Dream Thread becomes a bestseller. Children everywhere read about the boy who found his family through dreams. Schools use it to discuss belief, trust, family bonds. Daniel donates all proceeds to the foundation. He doesn't want money. He wants other families to find each other like his did. Sophia excels in school despite starting 3 years behind. Teachers amazed at her resilience. Art therapy helps her express trauma she can't verbalize. Her paintings are haunting, beautiful. Dark tunnels, ribbons, lullabies made visual. A gallery wants to exhibit her work. Eleanor says when Sophia is ready. Not before. 2 years after the trial, Vincent visits Harrison in federal prison. First visit since sentencing. Harrison has aged. Prison doesn't suit him. Wealthy men used to control don't adjust well to powerlessness. They sit across from each other, plexiglass between them, phone receivers connecting their voices. "Why did you come?" Harrison asks. "To tell you we're okay. Despite everything you did, we survived. We're healing. The foundation has freed over 200 people. Congress passed legislation. Your network is destroyed. Your legacy is justice instead of empire." Harrison's jaw tightens. "You destroyed everything I built." "No, I transformed it. You built a legacy of pain. I'm building one of healing. That's the difference between us. I was protecting you. You were controlling me, but that's over now. You have no power anymore, no influence, no legacy except the lives you destroyed. And I'm here to tell you I forgive you." Harrison's expression shifts, surprise, confusion. "I don't forgive you because you deserve it. I forgive you because holding hate destroys me, not you. I forgive you so I can move forward. So my children can move forward. So Eleanor can heal without your shadow following her. Your forgiveness is for us, not for you." Vincent hangs up the phone, walks away, doesn't look back. Harrison calls after him, but Vincent keeps walking. Toward the exit, toward freedom, toward the life he's building with his family. 5 years after Eleanor's rescue, the Morrison family gathers for Daniel's 13th birthday. The Brooklyn brownstone fills with people. James and Maria, Rachel and her sister Michelle, finally freed from the facility that held her a decade. Nancy Rodriguez, Gerald Preston released early for good behavior. Emily Preston, his daughter, also freed. All the people who helped bring them home. Sophia is 11 now, 6th grade, thriving in middle school, still processing trauma but healing with therapy 3 times a week. She's writing her own book about survival. Teachers say it's powerful, raw, honest. A publisher wants it, but Eleanor says when Sophia is ready. She brings a friend from school. First friend she's ever made. A girl named Maya who doesn't ask about Sophia's past, just accepts her present. Vincent watches his daughter laugh with another child. Normal, healing. Daniel thrives. 8th grade, honor roll, soccer team captain. Normal kid doing normal things. The dreams have faded. He sleeps peacefully now. The searching is over. Everyone is found. Eleanor has written a memoir. Brightness Returns tells her story. The imprisonment, the rescue, the healing. It's been on bestseller lists for 6 months. Movie rights sold. Eleanor has creative control. She won't let Hollywood sanitize suffering for entertainment. This story matters. It stays true. Vincent watches his family, his wife laughing with Maria, his children joking with each other. The easy comfort of people who've survived hell and found peace on the other side. This is what Harrison tried to prevent. Connection, love, family built on choice instead of control. The foundation now operates in 12 countries. International expansion following the same patterns. Corrupt facilities, imprisoned people, families torn apart by money and power. The Morrison Foundation finds them, frees them, reunites them. Over 800 families made whole, more every month. Eleanor steps away from the party, stands alone in the kitchen. Vincent finds her there, sees tears on her cheeks. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong, everything's right. I just never thought I'd see this. Normal family gathering, children growing up, people who love each other, choosing to be together. 7 years ago, I was in a white room being forcibly medicated. I'd given up hope. But you survived. I survived because of the ribbon, because of the song, because somehow I knew you were all out there, even when I couldn't remember why I knew I knew. And that kept me alive. Vincent holds his wife. They stand together in their kitchen, their brownstone, their life they built from rubble. Outside, their children laugh, their friends celebrate, their family continues. Sophia appears in the doorway, sees her parents embracing, doesn't interrupt, just watches, learning what healthy love looks like, what family can be when it's chosen instead of forced. Mom, Dad, Daniel's about to blow out candles. Eleanor smiles. We're coming, baby. They return to the party. Gather around the cake. Daniel makes a wish, blows out 13 candles. Everyone cheers. Normal moment in a normal life. The kind of moment Harrison tried to steal. But they took it back, reclaimed it, made it theirs. That night, after everyone leaves, the Morrison family sits together. Daniel between his parents, Sophia curled in the armchair, small feet tucked under her, comfortable silence. Peace. Tell us about grandmother, Daniel says. Your mother, Mom, the one who taught you the song. Eleanor smiles, remembering. Her name was Catherine, my mother. She had the most beautiful voice. She used to say singing was how our family passed down memory. That words fade, but melody stays. She taught me the lullaby when I was 5, made me promise to teach my children, to never let it be forgotten. And you taught us, Sophia says quietly, her small voice carrying weight. Even though I was stolen, even though Daniel was separated, the song found us anyway. Because some connections are stronger than distance, stronger than time, stronger than any force trying to break them. Eleanor looks at her children, her husband, her family. That's what the song means. Shine bright, even in darkness, even when you can't see the way. Love is the light that guides you home. Daniel starts humming, Sophia joins, then Eleanor, then Vincent. 4 voices blending. The lullaby that survived imprisonment and separation and 7 years of attempted erasure. The song that held them together when everything else tried to pull them apart. Outside, New York City continues. Millions of lives intersecting, millions of stories unfolding. But in one Brooklyn brownstone, one family that was broken and lost and scattered has found its way back together. They shine bright through the darkness, leading each other home. And the song continues, generation to generation, memory to memory, love to love, forever.